Hey folks, this is Matt once again with a review. I know a guy on here, Sean Marshall, wanted me to review this, and again, I'm not taking a lot of requests. It's probably the last request I'm doing for right now because I've got a lot of requests, and to be honest, there's other stuff I want to do, there's other stuff I want to watch, so I do apologize for that. But again, once in a while down the road, I will do one of these. So okay, just letting you guys know. But WarGames is the movie for today, and this 25th anniversary edition DVD, which I don't know who it was. Someone was telling me this DVD was shit, but I don't know what they mean because this DVD is a really good DVD. It has a commentary track with the director and writers. It has Loading WarGames documentary, which is a 45-minute documentary, which they interview Matthew Broderick, they interview Ally Sheedy, they interview Barry Corbin. They interviewed the director, John Badham. They interviewed the writers. They interview a lot of people, and you hear some good stories like the original director for this film, which was Martin Brest. Martin Brest directed about a week, and of course, Martin Brest went on to do Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah, because this was 83, and Beverly Hills Cop, I think, was 84 or 87. It was somewhere like that. But yeah, Martin Brest directed this, and they didn't really like how he was doing because he was going for a more darker approach. So they got rid of him, and they got John Badham. I thought it was a good choice because this film is a fun movie. I enjoy WarGames. I think this is a really good one. And it's weird when you're watching this today because, some people say, oh, it's dated because of the computers and stuff, but there's a lot of stuff. Think about it. You have hackers today who are fucking up the Pentagon and, or can get into all sorts. Like, remember when SOPA and all that stuff was going on, and you heard about these hackers getting into government agencies, or I don't know if it was FBI or something like that. It was something in that matter. And them warning, you do this, well, you think about this, Matthew Broderick, one of the early things of a hacker, if you think about it. Although he didn't really know what he was doing with this global thermonuclear war game that he played. But this is an interesting film. I think it's a very, not only interesting film, but entertaining film. Definitely ahead of its time, in my opinion. But, yeah, Martin Brest was going to direct this, and you got John Badham. I think he did a great job, though, John Badham. And the story, what can I say about the story? Matthew Broderick is a kid who likes to play Galaga. And I'm watching that. It makes me miss arcades. It really do. Actual arcade machines with games like Galaga. It's not the same playing on, emulator and shit. And yeah, this girl up with Ally Sheedy, and I thought they worked well together. I thought they were a lot of fun. And the way the film opens, I thought was really cool because you have these two guys who go in and they're going to for this test. Although I don't think they know it's a test. I like the guy who lets him in is Art LaFleur. This is a guy who's been in the Blah remake and Air America. I've seen this guy before. And the two guys, they get this test, they're supposed to verify these codes and insert the launch key for these missiles. One guy doesn't. He doesn't do it, he hesitates. But the other guy who doesn't hesitate is fucking Michael Madsen. And I'm watching this, holy shit, that's Michael Madsen. Very young in 83. I'm like, that guy, oh shit. He's the guy who doesn't hesitate. That's Michael Madsen. Shit, I didn't notice that. First time I noticed that. Sometimes it's where you watch stuff like, hey, that's Michael Madsen. But of course, because the other guy, and the other guy I've seen before. The other guy, I know he was in, I think, Copland, and he's been in other stuff, other films. But because you get the idea that humans will hesitate when they get, even though it was a test, they will hesitate. They decide to put in this computer called the WOPR, WOPR. And actually, Dabney Coleman's in this, and he's the guy who's go, okay, we don't use this computer for the WOPR, and the general, played by, I'm not sure if he's a general, I think he's a general, but Barry Corbin, who I enjoy Barry Corbin. He was in Northern Exposure TV show. He was in Critters 2. as the sheriff, which I really enjoy him in that. I thought he does a fun job as Barry Corbin. He's not really for it, but David Coleman's like, this is how it's going to be. And Matthew Broderick, I'm a fan of Matthew Broderick. I mean, I think before this he had done Matt's Dudian, but after this he would get stuff like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, among other films. And weirdly enough, in this film, he plays a guy who, on his computer, changes his grades. And then in Ferris Bueller, he did the same thing. He was on a computer and he changed his grades. So that was pretty... They must have been a nod to WarGames when they put that in Ferris Bueller. And really enough, you think about it, John Hughes must have seen this film. Because you have Ally Sheedy, who went on to do Breakfast Club, and then Matthew Broderick, who went on to do Ferris Bueller. So John Hughes, maybe he was a big fan of WarGames. But I really enjoy Matthew Broderick's character, like he's playing Galaga, and he fucks with the teacher because the teacher's talking about asexual reproduction. He's like, who first suggested the idea of reproduction without sex? And he's like, Matthew Broderick's like, your wife? I thought that was pretty funny. He gets sent to the principal's office. And you see the interesting aspect of how this guy is kind of a hacker at home. He has a home computer, kind of like that. And I like the old school computers where you have the floppy disk and shit. And do one of the things like you could dial a phone number and you put the phone in this thing right here. It's like go through all the phone numbers until I guess you get to a phone number that's not, that someone doesn't actually own. And you can show that he can change his grade, and Ally Sheedy's like, no, don't do that. Don't change my grade. Change it bad, and later on she wants to change back. And they're having fun, and Matthew Broderick's like, hey, how would you like your reservations in Paris? And they have fun with that. And the way this all gets going with the story, Matthew Broderick has heard about these games, and thinks he found the place where the games, but he needs to find his login. And he actually takes this info, because like all these different games like global thermonuclear war and like all these weird games he takes to a friend of his. Takes it to two guys actually. One of them is actually Eddie Deason. If you know who Eddie Deason is, just go to Google and type Eddie Deason, and when you see what he looks like, it's like, okay, either he looks, what the hell? What is Eddie Deason doing nowadays, I wonder? But I remember he was also on Critters 2. He's been in some stuff, and it's like, damn, he looks weird, he sounds weird. I'm not one to talk, but he looks weird, he sounds weird, and it's like, what the fuck is that guy doing today? And pretty much Matthew Broderick finds out, okay, there's another game on there, the first game called Falcon's Maze, and that will lead to getting this password to being able to play these games. And of course, you find out that there was this professor called Falcon who supposedly is deceased, and before that, his wife and kid were dead. And his kid's name was Joshua, so you find out that the password was Joshua. And I like these two in the film. I thought they played off each other well. Matthew Broderick was very likable. Ally Sheedy, I liked her in Breakfast Club. I liked her in this film. Also, Short Circuit. I like a bit where Matthew Broderick's trying to get by, and Ally Sheedy actually traps him with her legs. I'm like, yeah, I'd love to be Matthew Broderick. I'll be trapped in your legs too. I can drink to that if I had a soda or a water, but I don't. Shit. So I guess I drink to myself, drinking my figment in my fucking imagination because I forgot to fucking drink. So fuck it. But I still wouldn't mind being between Ally Sheedy's legs. Matthew Broderick's a lucky guy. But I thought it was a fun, playful scene. It's not meant to be sexual, but I thought it was pretty fun. Again, I like the characters. And he starts playing these games, and it's thermonuclear war. Unfortunately, what happens is the Pentagon, and well, the war room, I should say, the war room, the machine, the WOPR, Joshua thinks that it's supposed to run these simulations, and that's what it does. It runs these simulations for, in case there's a nuclear war, what's the best course of action. And it says, oh yeah, the Russians are coming and this and that, and the Pentagon and everyone in the war room thinks it's for real. The shit is actually for real. One thing leads to another, though, it gets stopped, but the computer actually calls back Matthew Broderick. And also, I like the idea, I thought it was a good idea, they actually gave the computer a voice. There's a voice I always remember. shall we play a game? I remember for PS2, I actually have a game called WarGames. Has nothing to do with the movie, but it has that voice in it. Mainly it's just a action game where you could be tanks and helicopters and shit, and you go one place to another and you blow the shit out of things. Was it for PS1? I think it was PlayStation 1, not PS2, PlayStation 1. I might still have it. It's like WarGames DEFCON 1 or something. It has a name. Shall we play a game? I thought that was always a really cool voice. I think it's actually the actor John Wood, who you find out the professor is not really dead. He faked his death, and the sort of military helped him fake his death. I think it's John Wood, and like the director told John Badham said, okay, say a sentence, but say it backwards. And I thought that was actually a cool idea because, it's a computer just trying to pick words. It's like, when you see on YouTube that they don't want you to use their own voice, it's like, hello, how are you doing? And at this point, the computer doesn't want to stop. Computer thinks that it's go time, it's going to run these simulations, and for the most part, the military doesn't understand that it's bullshit, that it is a simulation, that it's not real. They think it is real, and they don't want to take chances. As the countdown goes down, Matthew Broderick gets taken in. They think he's a spy. He escapes. This is an interesting thing that shows a little bit more that he's a hacker, where he puts some shit together. He's able to, it's kind of really MacGyver shit, sort of tape record the buttons on the door and play it back. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And basically has to go find this Falcon guy who realizes he's alive, and him and Ally Sheedy find him. And this guy, John Wood, at first, he's like, no, I don't care. We're going to die from nuclear war anyway. They're never going to learn, so he's not going to help. And I like Matthew Broderick's like, bullshit. Of course, you don't care because you already did. But then Falcon finally gets up. They go to the base, tell them that no, this is not real. There's not really Russians there. Come on, don't you think you just listen to a machine? Don't act like a machine yourself. And they realize it's fake and they stop it, but Joshua won't stop. And he gets the codes and he's going to launch the missiles themselves. I love the ending. I thought it was a really cool ending. It's a good message, but it doesn't beat you in the fucking head like a sledgehammer. And the message is, in a nuclear war, there is no winner. And it's true. If there's a nuclear war, there is no winner. And it's having to teach this machine futility. So, what's a game that you can't win? Tic-tac-toe. So it's like, here's tic-tac-toe, play it, Joshua. And keeps playing, plays, and realizes it's a strange game. What was it? It says, strange game. The only way to win is not play. How about a nice game of chess? I thought that was a really cool ending. I love the visuals where it's trying to go through all these, like tic-tac-toe, it's going all these simulations of what if Russia hit first, and you see like on all these computer screens and everything's flashing faster and faster. What if U.S. and what if Russia and what if this and that, and realizes you can't win, and so it stops playing. It realizes the only way to win is not play. I thought that was really cool. It was a good message, but at the same time, it's not beating you in the head. Matthew Broderick, Ally Sheedy, the acting's good. Barry Corbin has these funny lines, like he's talking to the president, looks like, oh, that's a load of shit. Oh, not you, sir. He was a lot of fun. It's ahead of its time with this hacking sort of ideals, and I'm not going to say it's a realistic plot, but if you think about it, it's not as sci-fi as you think. And just an entertaining film. It was never boring to me. Matthew Broderick, Ally Sheedy really made this film work. I really like the idea. Like, I keep saying like, there was a film that came out called Eagle Eye, which even they said was a sort of a spiritually related to this film. I mean, hell, they even talked to John Badham on one of the featurettes on Eagle Eye. And I really enjoy Eagle Eye as well. I mean, I can enjoy these films when they're done well. I thought, it was done well. It was funny at times, interesting idea, made you think a little bit. It wasn't boring. I don't think it was preachy. It was entertaining. I really liked the film. But unfortunately, I had to watch the fucking sequel because yes, there was a sequel, and directed by the same guy who did Ninja Turtles 3 and Rocket Man. So WarGames do fucking dead code. Rather have my dick be dead and see that, but